I'm Daphne Goode at the award-winning restaurant in Duncan, Hudsons on First. You're going to meet Andrea and Daniel Hudson, and they did a fabulous job on this heritage restoration as well. Thanks for joining us on Go Island, Cowichan Valley. On today's show, Adam in Duncan, an ordinary guy chats with Dan Conn. Jazz vocalist Sue Newman joins us. And there's a head-turner in Duncan. It's Hudsons on First. All that and more on... Daniel Hudson represented the Cowichan Valley in the Top Chef Canada competition and is doing what he loves, using fresh local ingredients in his Duncan restaurant to prepare a fresh-made fettuccine dish with house-smoked bacon, cremini mushrooms, herbed cream sauce, and shaved grana padano. A cold plate is also being assembled here at Hudson's on First.
I was doing a halibut gravlax, which is obviously traditionally Swedish or Scandinavian, but I just like to change it up a little bit and decided to do it with halibut. So a very traditional cure of sugar and salt with fresh lemon and dill in there, cured for 2 days. So there's no actual heat to cook the fish. It's all through the sugar and salt. And then it's, very traditional flavors. You think of fish, you think of lemon, and you think of dill. So I've taken them elements and just tweaked them. So I've done a lemon peel puree with it and a fresh dill oil. And then just to balance it out with a little bit of texture, I have some toasted pine nuts on the top. And then just to give it a little added twist, something a little special is we have some fresh Vancouver Island wasabi, which is from the Nanaimo. So we're very lucky and fortunate to have that right on our doorstep. There's only 3 or 4 ingredients on the plate, and it's very simple. That's my style, that's my philosophy, not to overcomplicate things. Very traditional, classical sort of flavors and techniques. So that encompasses and focuses on what we're trying to do here at Hudson's.
Time management is key in the Hudson family, with Andrea working on administration, marketing, menu preparation for Hudson's on First, and Daniel busy creating in the kitchen. It was food and hospitality that brought them together in the first place.
We met because I was doing the hotel restaurant management program at Camosun. I was at McGill University, realized that my career path was not the way I wanted to go, and I've always had a passion for hospitality. So I did the program, and part of it was to work internationally for 5 months. And I ended up going to England, and we were in this tiny, tiny village working in a beautiful 16th century coaching house. And that's where I met Dan. And it was a wonderful 5-month romance of being in a different country and really learning a different style of hospitality. There we were using white gloves. There was 20 pieces of silverware, real silverware on the tables, 12-course tasting menus. It was mind-boggling, but a wonderful experience. And of course, Dan was in the kitchen learning from an amazing chef there. And afterwards, I had to finish up my schooling, so I came back after the 5 months, and Dan decided to come on a 2-week holiday to Canada for the first time. Well, that 2 weeks ended up being 6 months, and we were working and living in Whistler on my second work experience. And so that was a kind of Dan's initial impression of Canada. Of course, he fell in love, and especially with the Cowichan Valley and Vancouver Island, because this is where my family and this is where I grew up, and it had a similarity of England in terms of the sense of community, the sense of the weather, obviously, and just the people itself. They're very friendly. So Dan, in his first 5 minutes, met a lady who grew up 5 minutes away from his hometown village in England. So it didn't make him feel homesick.
What does Daniel love about Vancouver Island?
The way of life. I mean, obviously, England is so cramped and so fast-paced and very difficult to get ahead. So coming to Canada and the way of life, you know, it's, especially like Andrea said, the valley, it's natural beauty, and from a chef's standpoint, the produce and the food and wine culture that's here, it's second to none. So it's nice to be immersed in all that. That's it. Everyone looks at us and, oh, why Duncan? And it's, well, you know, I think that we've got the best of everything here.
We'll take a quick break right now, and then we'll return to Hudson's on First. Everybody has a story. That's what the Con thinks. So on a trip to Duncan, he picked someone at random to share their story. To quote Forrest Gump, you never know what you're going to get. Coming up after the break. With both Andrea and Daniel Hudson returning to Canada, they put their efforts into finding the right location for their restaurant. A bit of serendipity played a part for Daniel.
I think the house found us, really. We had our realtors, you know, sort of scouting out places for us. You know, nothing, we weren't looking too seriously. And then one day Andrea called me and said, you know, we've got this place, you've got to come and see it. And as soon as I pulled up, you know, it was funny because a few days previous I'd ridden past, thought, oh, that'd make a nice restaurant. And sure enough, you know, as soon as we walked in, you know, it was a perfect layout, and we just pictured everything in its place. So it was good, you know, it had the bones, you know, the good structure, and, you know, it was very easy for us to sort of start the process and imagine how it would be.
Well, it was really good from the beginning. My family has a commercial millwork and renovation company, CHF Contracting, and we went into this project as a team. So right from the initial viewings, my mom and I had the design sense. I love doing design as a hobby, and my dad had the construction sense. He could see if there was going to be cans of worms and not. And so we were really fortunate to have a very broad base of skill set to start the project. We had to do all the drawings from scratch because there were no drawings. It's a 1906 heritage home, and we put it under heritage status as well, just because the building is such a special building. A lot of the millwork is original. The floorings are original old growth. The bar behind us, as you can see, this was pieces of the kitchen walls that we took off carefully, hammered out the square nails one by one, replaned all the wood so that we could reincorporate it into different parts of the building. The complete electrical, complete mechanical, seismic upgrades, plumbing, all of those behind the walls we did with fabulous sub-trades that were really into the restoration process, not the new build. No. So a lot of the trades that we hired were very passionate about the building as well and keeping it in its glory. And then the design sense. I love doing design, so we came up with a tin ceiling because of the era, because this room needed the most amount of work itself. It had a washroom, a closet, a big beam, everything that we had to take out, chimney. Wow. But we did it all ourselves with the help of some trades. Dan did a lot of the digging. That was my full-time job for 5 months. He was a digger.
Chief digger.
And we scraped off pieces of flooring from all the rooms to uncover the original hardwood floor. The whole construction process, while this was happening, I was pregnant with our first child, and Dan had been accepted to be one of the competitors on Top Chef, so he was actually gone in Toronto filming, and that was at the point where the kitchen was coming into play. And so there was brief communication via third parties for me to get in touch with Dan, because I was not actually allowed to speak with him while he was doing the show in Toronto. And what side did you want the burner on for the stove? You didn't tell me that before you left. Those kind of little details, but we made it work. We worked hard together, and then when Dan got back after filming, he was nose to the grindstone. We were in the push to get it finished on time.
We'll take a brief break right now. Later in the program, Daniel and Andrea start bringing in the awards, and cooking classes will soon begin. And after the break, Salt Spring Island seems to be a hotbed for world-class musicians. who often collaborate and feed off each other. And thanks to the revival of a monthly Sunday night jazz performance, one local singer is taking a trip down memory lane. MP Jean Crowder and the Mayor and Council of the City of Duncan have recognized the construction excellence at Hudsons on First. And in the kitchen, Daniel has impressed a number of judges. Many awards have already been given to Daniel and Andrea Hudson, including Best British Food in BC and Best Restaurant in Duncan by TripAdvisor.
At Hudsons, we provide something for everyone. Whether you want to come for a quick lunch, hour, whether you want to come for that special occasion, business meeting, we have something that caters to everyone's needs. I mean, yes, we say fine dining, but fine dining is not tuxedos and ball gowns. It's the best food that we can provide, using the best ingredients, the best wine list, the best service, in a comfortable, unpretentious atmosphere. So that's what we mean by fine.
Like Dan said, we don't want to scare people. We want everyone to feel comfortable when they come into the doors. We offer fish and chips, we have mussels, we have fresh made pasta. Those are all comfort foods that people crave. We also do a bit more of the artistic, like the halibut gravlax or something special, very seasonal ingredients that we change. And we have beautiful white marble tables. These are still a symbol of elegance, but they're not white tablecloths. You don't have to feel shy to come in and that you're going to be breaking the bank when you're coming in to dine with us. Also, we have our patio with just the simple traditional black and white checkered tablecloths, to give that real comfortable feel. We try and keep our service very approachable, very genuine, very knowledgeable, and our wine list we have a nice selection of local wines as well as international wines.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I'm most comfortable, in my own kitchen. So I find it, a little pretentious if a chef to just walk out and, ask people how their meal was. I welcome everyone into my kitchen, and, they can see where the foods come from and what we're about and what we're doing.
And how about the Top Chef Canada competition?
Oh yeah. As scary as it looks on the TV. I learned, from the other contestants as well. There's things that I took away from them. Learned a lot about my own, cooking ability as well, and maybe, not to sort of go with your first instinct. And but it was nerve-wracking. I mean, I'd pit anyone to go up against that kind of thing and in that environment. It was very difficult.
Hudson's on First was named one of the top 35 best new restaurants in Canada for 2013 by Air Canada's En Route magazine.
Wow. I mean, you have all these major cities across Canada and then little old Duncan. So it was nice to be recognized. I mean, that's one thing that I set out to do when I first cooked, to be recognized for what I and we do, and to have that on a national level is, well, we reached one of my goals.
We love the community that we are in. We love supporting so many of the local businesses, everything from GBS glass to matrix marble to flowers grown on local farms, so that we're supporting local, the produce in the kitchen. I mean, it's not our end-all be-all philosophy, but where we can, we will. We have artists that do put paintings up, and Coco Jones, Karen, and then we have our stained glass that's been done by different artists.
And breathe. Sorry.
Daniel will welcome his first students to cooking classes soon and truly relishes the opportunity to have fun in the kitchen, showing off his love of local food ingredients. And both Daniel and Andrea have made it a point to become involved in local community projects.
Beginning in April, we're going to offer really small, intimate cooking classes. Right in the kitchen, you're going to be up close and personal. And yeah, just learning the basic, knife skills and things like the fresh pasta and cooking techniques like the curing. So, back to basics, cooking 101. And it's going to be fun as well, because I'm going to get people hands-on. And in conjunction with that, we're going to offer sort of a cocktail program, sort of / class as well, in conjunction with the cooking class.
Well, we try and get involved with a lot of the different charities and the community work. We we're part of the Rotary and the Chamber of Commerce, so we are trying to get involved a lot with the different. We also, Dan takes on young students, a lot of them from the Providence Farm VIU culinary program, and he works with them in the kitchen for few month periods, and that is teaching them to be in the real workforce, in a real kitchen. They're getting paid, but also they're doing the culinary program. So we're trying to educate as well as be members of the community in different charities and offer a product that supports local economy. We use local ingredients, so we're supporting local economy.
One wonders, where did the love affair with cooking begin?
I always put it down to I watched too many Jamie Oliver programs. When I was younger, I saw him on TV and he made it look fun. I had no idea how hard it actually was, but I think it suits my personality. I get bored very easily and, sort of have to move on to different things. So being able to multitask and do lots of things, at a fast pace during the day, it's who I am, it's what I like to do, so it keeps me on my toes.
Thanks for being with us on the program today, and we love your story ideas. If it weren't for somebody calling in, we wouldn't have been here at Hudson's on First. So if you do have a story idea, a development in your own neighborhood, be sure and let us know. We're on Facebook and Twitter, or you can email us. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you next time.
Women's clothing provided by Tulip Noir, casual designer fashions. Men's wardrobe by DG Bremner & Co. Menswear and accessories. Hair services provided by Salon J.